What if the conspiracy theories you hear every day came to be true? Like secret societies and hidden advanced technologies. That would not be paranoia. That would be Deus Ex.
Freedom. It's a word we hear everywhere, especially nowadays. In politics, in business, even in the way we talk about ourselves. Free to choose, free to live, free to become whoever we want. But how free are we really? Well, in the year 2000, a video game asked this question better than most philosophers, embedding it inside the dystopian story of conspiracies, technology, and the future of humanity. That game is Deus Ex.
By the year 2000, the world stood on the edge of a new millennium, drowning in talk of globalization, computer networks, and the promises of a digital utopia. But beneath that optimism, there was unease. Who would control this new world? Governments? Corporations? Or someone else we couldn't quite see? From that unease came Deus Ex. Warren Spector and his team at Ion Storm didn't just build another shooter. They built a world where every alley, every terminal, and every whispered rumor pulled you deeper into a labyrinth of half-truth realities. A game inspired by cyberpunk fiction like Neuromancer and Blade Runner, and also real-world paranoia, where the line between fact and conspiracy was blurred by design. And that design mattered. At a time when most games offered simple corridors and scripted battles, Deus Ex trusted you with choices. Fight, sneak, talk, hack. It didn't matter how you got there. What mattered was those choices revealed about you. In the game, the freedom you feel is intoxicating, but it's never pure. It always comes with unsettling consequences. Every truth you uncover hides another lie. Every chain you break only reveals a new master's hand. Foucault once said the most powerful prisons are the ones we don't even see, and that quote may resonate with the protagonist of Deus Ex the most.
JC is the perfect protagonist for this story, not because of what he says. No, it's because of what he is. He's engineered, built to be more than human, but he is also engineered to be controlled. From the very beginning, when playing Deus Ex, you can't help but to ask, does being stronger, smarter, and faster actually make you free? Or does it just bind you tighter to the system that created you?
Appointment to FEMA should be finalized within the week. I've already discussed the matter with the senator.
I take it he was agreeable.
He didn't really have a choice.
Has he been infected?
Oh yes, most certainly. When I mentioned that we could put him on the priority list for the ambrosia vaccine, he was so willing it was almost pathetic.
This plague, the rioting is intensifying to the point where we may not be able to contain it.
Why contain it? Let it spill over into the schools and churches. Let the bodies pile up in the streets. In the end, they'll beg us to save them.
I've received reports of harm.
The world you move through Deus Ex feels distant, yet familiar. A plague called the Great Death strangles the poor, while the rich guard the cure like treasure. Cities fall under curfews, and soldiers march in the name of security. And as always, the powers that be behind the curtain control corporations, governments, and secret orders, while telling you they can bring order and justice. And all they ask for is for you to give up something in return. When Deus Ex was released, this was just an speculation, a vision of possible tomorrow. But looking back today, it feels eerily close to home. The line between fiction and reality has thinned. That's what makes the game so haunting. It doesn't just create a world, it reflects ours, stripped of its illusions.
At the heart of Deus Ex are the choices you make, not just about who he lives or dies, but about the fate of humanity itself.
You can join the Illuminati, handing power to a secret oligarchy in exchange for stability. You can merge with an AI and become a godlike ruler, sacrificing individuality for efficiency. Or you can destroy global communication, plunging humanity into chaos, and at the same time, maybe true freedom.
There is no perfect ending, only trade-offs. Just like in our own lives, freedom and control are always intertwined, and what we know as justice always comes at a price.
And beneath the conspiracies runs a quieter, stranger question. What does it mean to be human when you're more machine than flesh? JC's augmentations do make him stronger, sharper, and faster, but they also set him apart, forcing him into an involuntary existential crisis. This is where Deus Ex becomes something more than a cyberpunk fiction. It echoes another one of literary masterpieces, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, asking if technology saves us, or if it remakes us into something we no longer recognize. Today, with AI, biotech, and surveillance shaping our lives, the question is no longer theoretical. It's at our doorstep, and we have an obligation to answer, not a choice.
What struck me the most when I first experienced Deus Ex wasn't just the conspiracies, or the difficult choices you had to make. It was the way the game portrayed the crushing feeling of alienation. JC is both superior to others and cut off from them at the same time. He's never quite human. In a sense, he's never fully free. In that way, he mirrors every single one of us, constantly negotiating between individuality and the systems that have come to define us. Governments, our jobs, technologies, even our relationships. We all have a JC within, wondering how much of our lives is really our own.
That's why Deus Ex still lingers in the cultural memory. It wasn't just a game, it was a mirror, reflecting on our systems of power, our fears of control, and our fragile grip on identity. Without the game, we may not have had Bioshock, Dishonored, or even Cyberpunk 2077. But even more than that, it showed us that games could be a study of self and philosophy in disguise.
In the end, Deus Ex isn't just about conspiracies, or even the nanotech superagents. It's about us, humanity, our choices, our systems, and our illusions of freedom. The game reminds us that control doesn't always come with chains, and freedom doesn't always come with truth. And maybe the most unsettling question of all is the one it leaves us with. If freedom itself is just another kind of control, would you even notice it?